Can you believe it? This is Shenzhen. Why is it so desolate? I dare say 90% of physical stores in Shenzhen cannot survive this winter. Did you know that? Since September, business across all sectors has been struggling to stay afloat. Fruit vendors, vegetable sellers, clothing store owners, everyone is barely hanging on. Do you think any industry in Shenzhen can still survive right now? Shenzhen, once considered a model of China's reform and opening up, was renowned for its speed, innovation, and prosperity. However, recently Shenzhen is facing unprecedented economic pressure. Foreign investment withdrawal, manufacturing contraction, service sector slump, and population outflow. On the streets of Shenzhen, a scene unimaginable in the past is beginning to appear. Large numbers of unemployed people sleeping on the streets. A video circulating online shows many people sleeping wrapped in simple blankets in bus stations, squares, and parks in the Longhua area Shenzhen, with their luggage placed nearby. One interviewee said, "I've been homeless in Shenzhen for over 20 years. I used to sleep under bridges, in parks, and now I sleep in squares." These homeless people are no longer just migrant workers in the traditional image. They are unemployed individuals from diverse social strata, including software engineers, construction workers, and food delivery riders. During the day, they wander the city looking for work. At night, they sleep on cardboard sheets laid out under bridges, in parks, and in squares. To save money, some eat instant noodles, drink tap water, and can't even afford a $2 bed per night. Everyone thinks Shenzhen is a gold mine, where you can easily earn over $1,400 a month, but in reality, even finding a decent job is difficult. So many people dream of developing their careers in Shenzhen, but once you actually arrive, you'll find that finding a job is harder than finding a partner. Why are those factories always hiring for their positions month after month, year after year? Because they can't retain employees. Many quit after only a day or two. The blogger says that if you open a job search app, you'll often see jobs in Shenzhen offering $1,000 a month, and even higher paying jobs at $4 per hour. But the reality is, these seemingly good jobs are unattainable for ordinary workers. The actual take-home pay is often only $700 monthly, and that's only if you're lucky enough to find a job. She warned netizens not to blindly come to Shenzhen to work, as it's not as glamorous as portrayed online. I can't believe it. Even fast food restaurants in Shenzhen are struggling like this. 2 nearby restaurants were closed today, so my husband and I thought our business would be better. We got up an hour earlier than usual to prepare ingredients. But all day long, there were pitifully few customers. The 3 of us worked for over 10 hours, and the revenue was only $140. I really don't know where everyone went. Our fast food restaurant is in an old residential area in Shenzhen. We got it in 2016 for $16,000. It's about 30 square meters and we mainly serve freshly cooked fast food. The blogger said that when they first opened, business was really good, with daily revenue around $300. Although she and her husband worked from dawn till dusk, those days felt fulfilling and gave them hope. But in the past 2 years, they haven't earned much money and they're exhausted. Every month after paying rent, their pockets are empty. She just can't understand why business has suddenly become so quiet. A security guard, a regular customer, came again at lunchtime. He was stunned to find himself the only customer. He said that the young people these days are too lazy to go out, they just order takeout. Many also feel it's more cost-effective to cook at home. With the economy bad, everyone is trying to save money wherever possible. The blogger couldn't help but sigh. What are we, people in the restaurant business, supposed to do? Let me tell you a harsh truth. Did you know? Shenzhen has 18 million people, but the streets are deserted, the shopping malls are empty, the restaurants are empty, and even in the countryside, there's no one. This is the Guimao Center, which used to be packed with people, but look, the streets are almost deserted. Brothers, where have all the people of Shenzhen gone? I used to think that running a food stall was very profitable and that street vending was easy. But since my boyfriend and I started our stall in Shenzhen, I've realized that even getting a good night's sleep feels like a luxury. Our stall is located in a night market and we don't close until 1 or 2 a.m. every day. Yesterday, Tian Yu came back after 3 a.m. Every time we finish, we have to squeeze in some time to edit videos, often staying up all night. I feel like Tian Yu has been under more pressure since we got together. He's very meticulous and always notices my shortcomings, pointing them out to me. He also seems much more mature than before. The blogger said that sometimes seeing her boyfriend so exhausted makes her waver and want to give up street vending. But then she thinks, if we give up now, what else can we do? No matter what job we change to, we'll have to start from scratch, so it's better to keep trying. She said she'll give herself some more time. She believes that as long as she perseveres, she'll eventually see the rewards. Shenzhen, I know your rent is expensive, but I didn't know it's so expensive that it's absolutely not worthy. My rent in Futian, Shenzhen is $580 a month. You heard me right. Many people in Shenzhen only earn $580 a month, but my rent is already $580. Why? I just wanted to be able to see some sunlight, much better than those $200 extremely damp single rooms where you can't even see the sun during the day. I thought $580 was enough. The blogger said that after moving in, she discovered that the apartment was in an urban village on the 4th floor with no elevator right next to the street. She warned netizens never to rent apartments facing the street or they would really regret it. Her building was surrounded by shops, one next to another. Moreover, each shop has different opening hours, so from daytime to late at night, you can always hear people opening and closing their doors. Guangdong shops all have those metal roller shutters, which makes a very loud noise when pushed up or pulled down. Sometimes, just as she's about to fall asleep, a delivery driver will honk their horn, the beep instantly waking her up. She says that sleeping in a room every night is like sleeping on a completely exposed street. She can hear everything clearly, a sneeze, a whisper downstairs. Even more outrageous, she lives in a building where the neighbors are practically touching. Every morning around 6 or 7, she can hear the alarm clock from the building next door ringing. The sound, like it's right next to her ear, forcing her to get up. She never imagined that paying $580 for a room in Shenzhen would result in such an unbearable living environment. It's so absurd that it makes her question the meaning of life. Do you know what the two most popular industries in Shenzhen are? The first is the big companies like Huawei and Tencent. The second is the export trade industry such as cross-border e-commerce. There are countless cross-border e-commerce companies in Shenzhen, especially in the last 2 years, and of course the competition is getting fierce. The pie is only so big, you take a piece, I take a piece, and after deducting labor, costs, and miscellaneous expenses, there's hardly anything left. Now the business environment is really much worse than before. Making money is really difficult. Don't come to Shenzhen to do business. I found that many small and micro enterprises in Shenzhen face worse business conditions than small businesses in inland areas. Why? Labor costs here are 3 to 5 times higher than in inland areas, and rent is also 3 to 5 times higher. Moreover, technology is stagnant and there's overproduction in the industry. Everyone is doing the same thing: food, clothing, and small electronic products. Ordinary people really shouldn't come to Shenzhen to do business. Do you agree? I'm saying Shenzhen isn't a city for ordinary people. It's not suitable for them. The salary in Shenzhen is around $700, and I'm talking about ordinary people, the kind of people without skills, technology, or education. Delivery drivers can earn $1,400 or $1,000, but that's earning money with their lives on the line, and I don't want that. Many small factories in Shenzhen simply can't stay afloat. Many may not even survive until next year. I ran a physical factory in Shenzhen for 20 years, but foreign trade orders plummeted, forcing me to close down and transform. So this isn't an exaggeration. Making money in factories is increasingly difficult now. Upstream suppliers demand cash, while downstream suppliers drag their feet on payments. Many customers in Shenzhen pay the bank draft, which can be delayed for up to 6 months. You need to pay for materials, and wages need to be paid monthly, but payment for goods is nowhere in sight. The blogger says this year is even more troublesome. Orders are accepted, goods are prepared, but customers suddenly say, "Send it later," and when asked how much later, they don't reply. If the goods can't be shipped, forget about payment. But factory rent, utilities, and worker wages, none of these can wait. Once the cash flow breaks down, the factory collapses. This isn't about conveying pessimism, but rather the reality many factories experience daily.
深圳现在出现了3个奇怪现象。
Three strange phenomena have emerged in Shenzhen recently. Have you noticed them? First, I feel like everyone's spending has decreased. They're no longer blindly consuming. Even some KTVs and foot massage parlors are seeing a decline in business. Second, now everyone brings their own lunch to work. The number of people in our company who order takeout has been cut in half. They prepare their meals a day in advance and then reheat them at the company. There are already 2 or more microwaves added in the company now. The third point is that hardly anyone shops in malls anymore, even on weekends. What does this mean? Does it mean that the standard of living in Shenzhen has improved and people are starting to pursue a more fulfilling spiritual life? Or does it mean that people are less addicted to nightlife and are paying more attention to their health? Do you think this is the case?
你们说是不是这个情况了？
真正的工作目前难找吗？
Is it difficult to find a job in Shenzhen right now? Yes, it's very difficult. For example, when I was browsing Boss recently, I found that only a few companies were hiring. You know how it is, it's always the same few companies hiring, right? Last year, many companies were hiring. You didn't even need to submit your resume, and many companies would reach out to you. But this year, the job market is noticeably worse. Now, you have to actively send out your resume. Very few companies will proactively reach out to you because there are far fewer companies hiring. The current job market is much tougher. If you currently have a stable job, I suggest you don't quit easily.
那就建议不要轻易离职。
深圳负一楼的商铺都是垃圾。
The shops on the basement level in Shenzhen are all garbage. Look at the whole street. The developer promised a guaranteed 8% rental income return on investment over 5 years. Look at it now. Only a year has passed and the shops have just been handed over. Many of the warehouses haven't even been renovated, let alone generating any profit. Look, this owner is a little more optimistic. He even put up a for rent sign.
我们打一下，看他这里能租多少钱。
12月才是真的惨。
December is really terrible. Don't think it's just you. Business is bad. After November, all industries experienced a precipitous decline. Restaurant table turnover rates plummeted by half, clothing store owners' inventories were nearing their limit, and the education and renovation industries were all crying out. No customers, no business. Why? First, everyone is tightening their belts at the end of the year, avoiding unnecessary spending. Second, the Double 11 shopping festival already drained their resources online. Third, and most importantly, consumer spending has reached its lowest point.
消费降级降到了极致。
The blogger says that many business owners now feel their own businesses are failing, but actually everyone's situation is similar. Therefore, at this time, there's really no need for anxiety or internal conflict. It's more important to focus on attracting customers. If offline isn't working, you can do it online. Everyone is learning as they go, and things will gradually improve.
深圳松岗连接怎么变成这样子了？
What happened to the women's street in Songgang, Shenzhen? Look at the camera. I don't know what happened now. It's all empty. Look at the signs above, like the current fashion menswear in Linda Home textile shops. They're all gone. There are all sorts of explanations. The impact of e-commerce, the failure of various plans, and rumors of building demolition. This is like the tears of a bygone era. The rise and fall of a street is no longer just about bad business. It's a microcosm of the commercial transformation of urban villages in Shenzhen. It's not that you don't buy any stores, but rather doing careful selection.
不能入手，而是要谨慎选择。
Shenzhen's transformation from a small fishing village into an international metropolis largely relied on decades of investment from Taiwanese and foreign companies. However, now industrial zones in Longhua, Bao'an, and Pingshan are gradually becoming deserted. Many Taiwanese factories have relocated en masse to countries like Vietnam, India, and Indonesia, taking their production equipment with them, leading to widespread unemployment among local workers. Taiwanese businessman Liao Jinzong operated in mainland China for over 20 years before officially withdrawing in 2022. He told reporters that back in the 1980s, China suddenly opened up to the outside world, actively inviting foreign investment to set up factories. When competitors flocked to the mainland, you had no choice but to follow suit, because their prices were lower after production in the mainland. If you didn't follow suit, you would be eliminated from the market. Now, almost all of Taiwan's first-generation electronics manufacturers have withdrawn. The key turning point was the trade war launched by US President Trump in 2018. Furthermore, the recent high-pressure censorship of speech in China, the crackdown on lawyers, and news of tens of thousands of people being detained in Guangdong each year have also made Taiwanese businessmen uneasy. When discussing costs, Liao Jinzong recalled that when he first arrived in mainland China in 1995, an ordinary worker's monthly salary was only about $30, and $50 after overtime was considered good. At that time, the average wage in mainland China was only around $11, so a large number of laborers flocked to coastal cities. But 2 years before I left mainland China, a typical factory worker's salary had already risen to around $700, an increase of about 25 times in over 20 years. He lamented that despite the wage increase, many workers still struggled to make ends meet because their income was almost entirely swallowed up by inflation. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.